Hello and welcome. All sports takes. Got our week 5 predictions. It's crazy that the NFL season has passed so far along. Thursday night football. I chose the Buccaneers. John chose the Falcons. It was an absolute amazing game. What a shootout. I mean, Baker Mayfield had himself a game. Kirk Cousins had himself a game. Darnell Mooney, Drake London breakout game. What are your thoughts on that game, John?
No, didn't get to watch. Just doing homework, student athlete. So really, really sad to not watch that game. But glad I picked the Falcons. I was believing Kirko Chains, and he'll take you to the promised land. What can I say?
Yeah, no, but Kirk looked amazing, I gotta say. I was fortunate enough, I was in Telluride, but I was able to watch this fourth quarter um in overtime. And I was very angry. There were some interesting play calls. First play call I was mad at was the Falcons going for it on 4th and 15 inside their own 20 with 3 minutes left when they had three timeouts. Why are you not punting the ball? And, of course the Bucks don't go for a field goal and they end up punting away, but kind of just pissed me off how the Pucks can't capitalize after that. Let's get into it though. Um,
Right into it.
John last week went 11-5. I went 10-6. So John covered me my one game, which increased the lead back to 6 games. Uh,
Hey, what can I say? That Bills Ravens game. What a pick! Picking the Ravens.
there was a lot. There was heck of games. I know that Tom Grossi, he's pretty well known. He went 6-10. So I think we got to be proud of our predictions, John.
Yeah, can't
Pretty
complain. Going
good
11
games
to
this
5.
week. A lot of upsets. This week, there's a game in London. The Jets, who lost to my second favorite team in the Denver Broncos and BO NIX last week. They're facing a really hot Vikings team. And I think you got to be crazy if you're not picking the Vikings here. So I'm going to just pick the Vikings. I don't have to go through
Yeah.
everything. Aaron Rodgers is trash. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw a couple of picks.
Hmm. Don't hate it. I also got the Vikings winning here. Vikings red hot. Jets come off the rough loss last week. What was it, like 10-9, 10-9 to the Broncos. So
Mm.
obviously not a good performance last week. I just think the Vikings are too good.
It was like a hurricane in New York in that game, to be fair. That's why it was so low scoring. But
Yeah, it was Bo Nix. That's why. Jacoby Brissett playing that game, at least 30 points put up.
Panthers, Bears, really interesting one
Yeah,
here.
really interesting game. Yeah.
I'll let you go first here.
I kind of debated this one. It was a hard decision for me. Panthers looked really good against the Bengals, but I really don't know how good the Bengals are this year. Just really like I want them to be good, but they just haven't looked good. I hate to be that guy. So and the Bears look good too, beating the Rams last week. Sure, the whole receiving core is on IR, but still a win's a win. And I took the Bears here. I just don't think the Panthers defense will be able to stop the Bears offense. Even though the Bears offense is not that good, the Panthers defense is not very good. And I think the Bears defense could come up with a few turnovers against Andy Dalton. Hasn't played in a while, so he did have a good game last week, but maybe he throws a couple picks, bad decisions with the ball when the Bears come out with a weird scoreline, 23-19 here.
Yeah, last week when I was watching this Bengals game, the commentators kept saying that Andy Dalton and Zach Taylor kept saying that Andy Dalton had too much confidence when throwing the ball in field. So
Hmm.
he'd throw it into double coverage to Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson was playing amazing. I think that if any defense can stop that confidence, it'll be the Chicago Bears. They have an amazing defense, and I don't necessarily trust the defense of the Panthers, letting up 34 points. Granted, the Bengals offense is amazing, but so I have the Bears here, the Bears defense carrying them. It's also in Chicago, so you got to think about that too. And so I have the Bears winning this one 20-13.
Hmm.
Browns versus Commanders. It's crazy. If you would have told me in week 1 that Browns versus Commanders, you don't even have to think about your pick. You don't even have to think about your pick, and
Yeah.
it's not for the Browns. You'd call me crazy. The Commanders are
Yeah.
looking amazing. The Browns look like trash. It's in Washington. You have to pick the Commanders here. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'd say it was a little hard for me to pick. I still believe in the Browns, even though I hate Deshaun Watson. I still think they have a good team. But I had to go with the Commanders. Had to pick the safe pick here. I picked Commanders 27-16 here.
Mm. Patriots, Dolphins. This is an interesting one because the Dolphins haven't been looking very good recently. With that being said, Patriots are also 1-3. Who do you got in this one, John? I'll let you go first.
Well, the Dolphins aren't even a bad team. It's just they got no QB. Tyler Huntley starting like a third string QB. Didn't really look good last Monday night against the Titans. That's why the Titans won. Pats, it's been we've had some hard games. We've been in it with a couple teams. I don't really want to talk about that 49ers game. That was a very frustrating game to see. So I'm gonna end up picking the Pats here, 13-10, just solely off our defense balling out and just absolutely shutting down the Dolphins offense because they have a third string QB in. That's the reasoning for this pick here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Dolphins kind of open their brain, that Tyler Huntley maybe adjust to the scheme more. I just, I really don't know which way this is going to go. I know it's in New England. I know that the Patriots defenses look good. I don't think Jacoby Brissett has looked bad at all by any means, but I think that the Dolphins defense has been pretty good, and I think that this could. I just, my mind can't wrap around the Dolphins letting themselves go 1-4 with or without Tua, and so I have to pick the Dolphins here. I just can't imagine them letting themselves tumble this far when they have all these great players. They just don't have a QB. Colts versus Jaguars. I'll go first here. I have the Jags.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's a surprise pick. I told everyone last week when I picked the Jags against the Texans that I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought the Jags are going to play really well. And if they got that 4th and 1 on the goal line, they win that game. So just poor execution, poor red zone execution for the Jaguars. And I think that if they can just execute in spots where they need to execute, which has just been the theme for the Jaguars, they just need to execute to win games. We saw it against week 1 against the Dolphins. We saw it now. If they can just, when they have a close game, when they're in these close red zone opportunities, just pound the ball or limit fumbles or limit interceptions, they can win the game. And so I think that the Jaguars are going to beat the Colts here. Jaguars are going to win 22, 28-20.
Yeah, I don't even know if the Jags would be a surprise pick just because Anthony Richardson is doubtful to play this week. So Joe Flacco looks like he's going to be starting. I don't hate Joe Flacco. I think he's a solid backup, but I mean, when you choose Joe Flacco or Anthony Richardson, you're obviously going to take Anthony Richardson. So there's 1 point for me. Yeah, but the Jags also look really good last week, almost upsetting the Texans. I picked the Texans. I wasn't really sure the Jags, but they did play really well. Christian Kirk had a great game. Trevor Lawrence was looking good. So yeah, I think the Jags are going to win this game here, 23-15. Closer game, but I still think they're going to pull it out.
I still do think it's an upset though, because Joe Flacco did look really, really good last
Yeah,
week.
he did look solid. Yeah.
And we both picked the Colts there to upset the Steelers, and we were right, which was a good pick. Bills versus Texans. I think anybody that has watched these episodes for the past couple of weeks knows that I'm not high on the Texans at all. I don't think the Texans have looked necessarily good. I don't think they've necessarily faced against good opponents. Um, and so, with that being said, I know that the Bills had a tough week last week, and that this is Stephon Diggs' revenge game.
Mm.
But I think that the Bills are going to win this one in a high scoring affair. I'm going to say 35-24. The Bills, Texans don't have necessarily good defense, and Josh Allen has been playing exceptional. The Ravens defense was
Yeah.
good last Sunday night. That's why they lost.
So I've been picking the Bills. I love the Bills. I think they're a great team. But when it comes to this game, it's just a toss up game for me. I could see it going anyway. That's kind of how it was for the Ravens game for me last week. I was kind of risking with the Ravens, but after watching the Texans last week, I just don't know if I can trust them as much as I thought I did before, especially in games against solid opponents or even a really good team here in the Bills. So I will have the Bills winning this game, 24-20. I think it's going to be a really close game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans win, but I'm gonna stick with the Bills here.
Okay, we got the Ravens, Bengals. It's in Cincinnati. Will that change the tide of how we see this game? I'm picking the Bengals no matter what. I just think that for our organization, this is a must-win game. And although it's going to probably be very close, I just think that it's going to be an offensive shootout. We know that the Bengals defense isn't good. We know that the Ravens defense is pretty darn good. But we also know that Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. And the past 2 games, he's had maybe 3 drives in those past 2 games that don't work out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick the Bengals offense to outshoot the Ravens today. Having the home crowd is necessary. I like Chase Brown to have himself a game. and I like the Bengals to stop the Ravens on the rush, because our rushing defense has been pretty solid. I like them to stop Henry to only a couple of yards. And I'm sure Lamar Jackson will just throw it deep to Zay Flowers, and it will work because Cam Taylor has been playing like trash.
Yeah, I mean it's another good game this week. I think the Bengals, that first win's really going to help them. It's always hard to get that first win. Once you get that first win, I think they could really build off of that. Even though if it was against not a great team, it's still a win. Ravens looked really good last week against the Bills, 35-10 win. I mean, rushing game was going. Derrick Henry was balling. Lamar Jackson was balling. You know, the whole backfield was really balling. Gus Edwards too. So I think it's gonna be a really tight game. I
Gus
think
Edwards
the
plays for the
Bengals.
Chargers, big man.
What's up?
Gus Edwards plays for the Chargers, big man.
All right. What's the other dude? Justice Hill. Justice Hill. Justice Hill looked really good. But I'm gonna pick the Bengals here. I think the home field advantage, as Andrew said, is actually gonna play a factor in this game. I think it's really gonna like push them to get that final win. And I got the Bengals winning 30-25.
I did not expect that out of you. I have us winning 31-28. I did not expect you picking the Bengals. So that means we have had only one differing game going into the 2 o'clock games, the Raiders versus the Broncos.
I
John,
don't
go
I
ahead.
don't this isn't gonna change it because I am picking the Broncos here.
Oh boy.
The Raiders, I mean, they don't have Devontae Adams, which I think is really going to hurt them. So, I mean, I don't like the Broncos. I think they're a really bad team. I think they've just been lucky because of the weather and their defense playing good. Bo Nix is not a good quarterback. Just want to put that out there just so Andrew can hear it. Bo Nix is not a good quarterback. It's bailed out by his defense.
Prove the
So
haters wrong.
I will be picking the Broncos here, 17-14.
Yeah, the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL. That's my hot take for this week. I think they have an amazing defense. Patrick Surtain, one of the best cornerbacks I have seen in a long, long time. I don't think there's any arguments to be made about him being the best cornerback. Every single time he faces a good wide receiver, he locks them up. Um, the Broncos defense is too good. The Raiders are losing pieces. Drama with Devontae Adams being gone.
Yeah.
Um, so I have the Broncos. I think they're gonna win this one 20-10. Bo
Mm.
Nix, he'll have himself a day. I'll have a cheeky little 200-yard, two-touchdown game. An interception too, I bet. He's a rookie at the end of the day. We all need to remember that, but he's winning games, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Okay.
Cardinals, 49ers. I have the 49ers winning this one. I think a couple players are coming back. Debo Samuel is coming back. I know Cardinals have looked actually pretty good, and that their record doesn't necessarily show how well they've been playing. But with that being said, I think that the 49ers in San Francisco, they don't generally lose there very often. Their defense looked amazing against the Patriots last week. And so I think I just have to go for 49ers here. Let's say 29-25.
Yeah, I was really high on the Cards, and then last week happened, and that low key made me a little sad. I was a little disappointed in the Cards, just getting blown out by the Commanders. I was like, wow, it's really shocked me, and I think if they either like even have a close game last week or just win the game, I'm picking them this week. But just since of that game, I don't know if I can trust them against a really good 49ers team, even though the record doesn't say they're good. I still think they're a really good team. Debo Samuel was out a couple weeks, but he was back last week. But he wasn't a full 100%. This week he's back full 100%. So that's really going to dictate me. I'm going to pick the 49ers here. A close one, 24-20.
And you got to remember the Commanders have only beaten some of the best teams in the NFL, like the Bengals. So you just kind of got to put that into consideration.
Yeah, just throw that
Giants
out.
versus Seahawks. I want to say something. I would have picked the Giants here had they not been missing Malik Neighbors,
Yeah,
Devin Singletary.
yeah.
I kind of love this Giants team. I think this offense is really going to be like they have a lot of potential. But without Malik Neighbors, I just can't in my right mind pick the Giants. So I have the Seahawks winning here,
Yeah,
28-13.
pretty much same reasoning for me. I think Wandale Robinson, wide receiver two, is gonna have a great game. He looked really good to get last week against the who did they play last week? Against the Cowboys, right? Against the
Mm.
Cowboys, they looked really good. I think he's gonna have another really good game, but just with the losses to Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary, I just don't see them being able to beat a really good Seahawks team. So I got the Seahawks winning 28-20 here.
Packers versus the Rams.
Mm.
It's an interesting matchup, that's for sure. Who do you got in this one?
I'm picking the Packers here. Rough game against the Vikings, but towards the end, the third and fourth quarter, I really saw the Packers team we had saw in the first couple weeks just putting up points, scoring, the whole offense going, defense was shutting down the Vikings. They almost came back and won. And so I'm gonna think that same Packers team for the third and fourth quarter is gonna play a full 4 quarters this game against the Rams. And I think they're just gonna outscore the Rams 33-20 here. Rams lost the Bears last week. Their whole team's on IR, so can't really blame them. But I got the Packers here.
Part of me wants to pick the Rams here, John.
Pick them.
I don't want.
I hope you pick them.
I Oh, it's a tough one because the Packers they don't have Romeo Dobbs. They're missing a lot of people, but Jair Alexander's coming back. I think that this could be like a Whittington kind of a breakout game for the Rams. I think he's gonna play well. I think I have to go safe. I'm gonna be killing myself here if I don't pick the Packers. So I'm gonna have to pick the Packers 31
Mm.
to 24. But I really like this Rams team, and I think that at home this could be an upset, even though at home doesn't mean anything when you play in SoFi Stadium. Cowboys versus Steelers. Who do you got here?
Cowboys, simple as that.
I kind of wish you would choose the Steelers. I'm picking the Cowboys too.
I don't know
Um,
why. I don't know why you would pick the Steelers in this game.
Steelers have looked really good. Their offense looked really good last week.
Yeah, they played like they had like probably the easiest schedule other than the first week one against the Falcons, and it's week one, so that's why they won. So I don't think the Steelers are that good. I don't think they're 3-1. I don't think they're a 3-1 team, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think that the Steelers are. I think they're better than previous seasons when I've seen them play. To be honest, like compared to when it's like all defense, I really like how their offense and Justin Fields has been playing. But I think the Cowboys in their team too much talent to go against them.
Yeah,
Saints versus the Chiefs. Who do you got in this one? Monday Night Football.
I feel like you're gonna pick the Saints here. Um, I've picked both the Saints losses so far, so I think I'm gonna pick it right again. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs here. I don't really have a reason. It's kind of just a gut pick for me. I think the Chiefs, they've been in a ton of close games this week. It's been close game after close game, and it comes down to one play every week. And you know what side the refs are on. So, I mean, that kind of helps you out. So I'm just going to have to pick the Chiefs here 23-20, really close game.
Yeah, I think that the script has to be realistic, and that the Chiefs have to start losing games.
Okay.
Um, no Rashee Rice, no Isaiah Pacheco, right? They had to sign Kareem Hunt. I don't necessarily know who they're going to throw to. Their offense looked abysmal against the Chargers, and the Chargers don't have necessarily a good defense. Their offense looked terrible. 17 points against the Chargers. My logic here is that the Saints defense has actually been playing amazing. It's just that the Saints offense needs to get rolling. And so I'm going to pick the Saints here. And because I partially need some differentials against John. So I'm going to pick the Saints here. And I'm going to go 27-19.
Okay.
Scoring game. I think Chiefs they're gonna get to 10 points. They're gonna kick a field goal. They're gonna for two, trying to get to 20 points or 21 points. They're gonna miss 2 point conversion. There you go.
Okay.
Crazy predictions. Crazy day. I I'm excited for next week though, because do you know what the primetime game is for next week, John?
No, what is it?
It's the Giants versus the Bengals.
Ooh,
That's
good
Sunday
game.
Night Football. I know. I don't know why they wouldn't put Ravens Bengals Sunday Night Football this week.
It's because the Chiefs are playing, obviously.
Well, it's Cowboys Steelers Sunday Night Football, John.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the
It's
Cowboys.
Cowboys, America's team.
Anyway, those are our weeks 5 predictions. Hopefully a lot of safe picks here. You just got to play it safe. But any last words, John?
Just hoping for a great week of football.
Let's go Dolphins.